I bet Samantha was holding that empty can of mace and thinking, good morning, Minneapolis! Thank you so much for tuning in. It's December 2022, and we're just so happy to have you here. So thank you so much. Hey, today, in obvious news, a House committee has accused several oil companies, Shell, BP, American Petroleum, and more, of spreading disinformation and preventing action on climate change, to which we would like to say, no. This past Thursday night, protesters took to the streets to block traffic downtown, demanding that Senator Amy Klobuchar pass the American Dream and Promise Act. Passing the act will provide a means to citizenship for hundreds of thousands of immigrants brought here as children and permanent protection from being deported. And we hope Amy will pass the American Dream and Promise Act. I mean, Amy seems to be getting better at being a human, right? Amy, 2002, Hennepin County DA, locked up black men for no damn reason, stripping them of 2 decades of their lives and then bragging about locking up said black men for no reason at a presidential debate. Amy, 2022, turned down being Biden's presidential running mate and said the spot should be reserved for a woman of color. I'd say, that's kind of progress. When nobody's looking, Amy doesn't do the right thing. Now that we are, she's kind of doing the right thing. Still don't trust her. Speaking of profiting from pain, Samantha Belcourt, like the Bluths, sells frozen bananas from her frozen banana food truck in Arizona. No, this is not a tongue twister. But unlike the Bluths, Samantha wound up selling frozen bananas after she retired from the Minneapolis Police Department when she did this. That was a viral video from 2020 that showed a Minneapolis police officer spraying mace at a crowd of people protesting the Minneapolis police murder of George Floyd. But how does Samantha get away with this and just move to Arizona to sell frozen bananas? Apparently she got away with a whole lot more. Dina Winter of the Minnesota Reformer writes, she received a $150,000 workers' compensation settlement from the city in March and receives over $59,000 per year in pension payments after retiring early due to post-traumatic stress disorder, according to state records. Samantha looked at all the people she blinded with that mace and said, looks like $60,000 a year for me. After Samantha sprayed mace at that crowd, Bob Kroll called and said, please tell me that wasn't Aquanet. I bet Samantha was holding that empty can of mace and thinking, yeah, I'm the victim here. Either way, I just want to say to the customers of Samantha's frozen banana food truck, you may want to be very wary if she ever reaches for an aerosol spray can. Is it whipped cream or is it mace? Let's not wait to find out. In the realm of state-sanctioned violence going public, Mohsen Shikari, a young protester in Iran, has been executed. Mohsen was involved with the recent protests against state-sanctioned violence that erupted after the Iranian government murdered Mahsa Amini, a 22-year-old Iranian woman, for what they said was not wearing her hijab correctly. Amnesty International writes, the shocking way Mohsen Shikari's trial was fast-tracked through Iran's judicial system without allowing him the chance of a meaningful trial and appeal process is yet another illustration of the fact that the authorities are resorting to the death penalty as a weapon of political repression. The clear aim is to instill fear among the public in a desperate attempt to cling to power and end the popular uprising. And Mohsen was one of over 16,000 protesters that have been arrested by the Iranian government after 2 months of civil unrest whose fates are currently unknown. If you're not familiar with what's going on or what has been going on in Iran, this is a woman-led uprising demanding women's rights from an Iranian government that has long suppressed the agency and autonomy of women in Iran. However, the protest hasn't been in vain. The international attention combined with the undeniable force of the women in Iran has supposedly led to the dissolution of the morality police, the government organization at the center of Mahsa Amini's murder. France 24 writes, the move represents a rare concession to the protest movement, and authorities have also acknowledged the demoralizing effect of an economic crisis spurred by U.S. sanctions. Which, in other words, France 24 is saying the Iranian government needs these sanctions lifted more than they need the morality police. And let me get wild with you for a second. The Iranian government tried to shut this down from going public by shutting down the internet, but international attention was brought to the uprising in Iran by way of women filming protests and posting to TikTok, as well as protesting by cutting their hair or walking publicly without a hijab and posting to TikTok before the government could pull the blinders on the situation. Similar to the Akron police taking down Justice for Jalen Walker signs. A black man they shot 46 times. Someone filmed them doing that from across the street, similar to bystanders filming the brutal murder of George Floyd by Minneapolis police. They don't want you to see what they're doing because they're afraid of the repercussions time and time again. Can you see the parallels? Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. We love y'all so much and just can't express enough the words of appreciation for you watching the show. If you want to support the show and many other shows like this on Onsite Public Media, click the link below. And hey, we'll see you in the next And hey, we'll see you in the next one. Justice, then peace.